new lecture. This is lecture number 4 in our program on the modern novel. My name is Fuzi Slisli, and I will be your instructor this semester. So we continue today our discussion on Animal Farm, and today we will be talking about the major themes in Animal Farm. And we begin the major themes with the most important one. It's satire. This is such a satire, this story. And satire, let's start with basic definition. Satire is loosely defined as art that ridicules a specific topic in order to provoke readers into changing their opinions of it. By attacking what they see as a human folly, satirists usually imply their own opinions on how the thing being attacked can be remedied. So they're trying to change people's minds by showing how ridiculous things are and urging people to change the way they think about certain things. Perhaps the most famous work of British satire is Jonathan Swift's Gulliver's Travels, which was published in 1726, where the inhabitants of the different lands that Gulliver visits embody what Swift saw as the prominent vices and corruptions of his time. As a child, Orwell discovered and devoured Jonathan Swift's novel, which became one of his favorite books. Like Gulliver's Travels, Animal Farm is a satirical novel in which Orwell, like Jonathan Swift, attacks what he saw as some of the prominent follies of his time. These various satirical targets comprise the major themes of Orwell's novels. The second main theme in the story is the theme of tyrants and tyranny. Broadly speaking, Animal Farm satirizes politicians, specifically their rhetoric and their use of language, their ability to manipulate others, and insatiable lust for power. Despite his seemingly altruistic motives, Napoleon is presented as the epitome of a power-hungry individual who masks all of his actions with the excuse that they are done for the betterment of the farm. His stealing the milk and stealing the apples, for example, is explained by the lie that these foods have nutrients that are essential to pigs, who need these nutrients to carry on their managerial work. He's running Snowball off the farm because he chases Snowball off the farm is explained by the lie that Snowball was actually a traitor, that he was working for Mr. Jones. None of it is true. And that the farm will fare better without him. Not true. Each time that Napoleon and the other pigs wish to break one of the 7 commandments, they legitimize their transgressions by changing the commandment's original language, by adding just 1 or 2 words, and they completely change the meaning of the commandment. So for example, no animal shall ever kill another animal. They just add without cause, which means that if there is a cause, you can kill, an animal can kill another animal. Whenever the farm suffers a setback, Napoleon blames Snowball's treachery, which the reader, of course, knows is not true. Napoleon walks on 2 legs, wearing a derby hat, and toasting Pilkington reflect the degree to which he and other pigs completely disregard the plight and the hardships of the other animals in favor of satisfying their own lust for power and their own cravings for power. So Napoleon and the other pigs are just thirsty for more power. They don't care about the animals. Thus, the dominant theme of Animal Farm is the tendency for those who espouse the most virtuous ideas of liberation and equality and so on, that those people become the worst enemies of the people whose lives they are claiming to improve and to work for. Another important theme is the role of the populace, the population. Although Boxer is a sympathetic character, his ignorance is almost infuriating and dangerous, and Orwell suggests that his unquestioning ignorance allows rulers like Napoleon to grow stronger and stronger. Benjamin Boxer, for Boxer, Napoleon is always right. He has this uncritical attitude, and he has a sheep mentality. He's a follower. He just does what is told. And in the hands of tyrants, that can be very dangerous. Even Benjamin the donkey contributes to Napoleon's rise because his only stand on what is occurring is a cynical dismissal of the facts, although he is correct in stating that, quote, life would go on as it has always gone on. That is badly. He too does nothing to stop the pig's ascension or even raise the other animals' awareness of what is happening. His only action is to warn Boxer of his impending death at the Knackers, but this is futile as it occurs too late to do Boxer any good. Another important theme is the theme of religion and tyranny, religion and tyranny. And here we look at the character of Moses, the raven, who we said in the previous lecture that he represents the church. Another theme of Orwell's novel that also strikes a satiric note is the idea of religion being the opium of the people, as Karl Marx famously wrote, that religion is the opium of the people. Moses the ravens talk of sugar candy mountain. Originally, his talk about, when Moses talks about sugar candy mountain, this mountain that animals go to after they die, and there is sugar everywhere, and chocolate, and, you know, all good things are there, you know, which is like similar to the idea of heaven for human beings. So Moses the raven's talk of sugar candy mountain originally annoys many of the animals, since Moses knows as a teller of tales, Moses is known as a teller of tales and seems an unreliable source, so people don't trust him. At this point, the animals are still hopeful for a better future and therefore dismiss Moses' stories of a paradise elsewhere. As their lives worsen, however, the animals begin to believe him, because their lives now, they reasoned, were hungry and laborious. Was it not right and just that a better world should exist somewhere else? Here Orwell mocks the futile dreaming of a better place. You know, this, when poverty and injustice is rampant, people start to dream of another place where all the injustice would be reversed. And Orwell is using it to mock the futile dreaming of a better place that clearly does not exist. The pigs allow Moses to stay on the farm and even encourage his presence by rewarding him with beer, because they know that his stories of Sugar Candy Mountain will keep the animals docile. As long as there is some better world somewhere, even after death, the animals will trudge through this one. Thus Orwell implies that religious devotion, viewed by many as a noble character trait, can actually distort the ways in which one thinks of his or her life on earth. Orwell, however, does not imply that Napoleon is the only cause for Animal Farm's decline. He also criticizes the different kinds of people whose attitudes allow rulers like Napoleon to succeed. Molly, for example, whose only concerns are materialistic, is like people who are so self-centered that they lack any political sense or understanding of what is happening around them. A political people like Mali, who care nothing for injustice or equality, offer no resistance to tyrants like Napoleon. Boxer is likened to the kind of blindly devoted citizen whose reliance on slogans. Let me start again. A political people like Mali, who care nothing for justice or equality, offer no resistance to tyrants like Napoleon. Boxer is likened to the kind of blindly devoted citizen whose reliance on slogans like Napoleon is always right prevents him from examining in more details his own situation. So the problem of tyranny, according to the novel, according to George Orwell, it's not blamed only on the tyrant, but it is also blamed on the population. Through either ignorance or inactivity, they make tyranny happen. A final noteworthy and again satiric theme is the way in which people proclaim their allegiance to each other, and this is the theme of false allegiance. And they proclaim their allegiance to each other only to betray their true intentions at a later time, directly related to the idea that the rulers of the rebellion, the pigs, eventually betrayed the ideals for which they presumably fought. This theme is dramatized in a number of relationships involving the novel's human characters, Pilkington and Jones and Frederick. For example, these guys only listen to Jones in The Red Lion because they secretly hope to gain something from their neighbor's misery. Similarly, Frederick's buying the firewood from Napoleon seems to form an alliance that is shattered when the pigs learn of Frederick's forged banknotes. The novel's final scene demonstrates that despite all the friendly talk and flattery that passes between Pilkington and Napoleon, each is still trying to cheat the other, as seen when both play the ace of spades simultaneously. Of course, only one of the two is technically cheating, but Orwell does not indicate which one because such a fact is unimportant. The friendly game of cards is a facet that hides each ruler's desire to destroy the other. Thank you very much for listening to this lecture. I hope you find it provocative and entertaining. And I will see you in the next lecture, lecture number 5, and have a wonderful day.